my pleasure to introduce to you Patricia Ferris. We are so excited for her to share. She's been following MOTECon for a few years, but this is her first year to get to present at MOTECon. So we are excited. This is Patricia's 20th year in education. She's had a lot of experience. She's an ISTE community leader. She's a Google certified coach and trainer, among a myriad of other certifications that she has. But I think most important is her experience. She's in her 20th year of education. She's been a teacher, an interventionist, an instructional coach, and a technology coach. And so we're just really excited to hear what she has to say to us today.
Thank you, Britt, for hosting me today. I am so excited to be part of MOTECon this year. Like Britt said, my name is Patricia, and I am a technology integration specialist in a K-12 unit district. Previously, the last 3 years, I spent as a technology coach with a couple of districts near Chicagoland area for a statewide organization. I've been a MOTE ambassador for 3 years and discovered MOTE during remote teaching when one of my teachers asked how to create differentiated slides quicker to reach all of her students. She had a few students in 2nd grade who were still working on beginning reading skills and needed auditory support. She was recording all of her stories and instructions, then downloading them and then uploading them to the Google Slides. So you can imagine how long that was taking. She was doing a lot of work for her students, which was amazing. So I researched for some other tools and found MOTE. Well, she was ecstatic that it saved her hours of time to be able to just record right on the slide and insert it there instead of downloading and uploading. She was excited to use this tool to help her learners. So I am also excited to share all the different literacy skills that we can practice when providing that instruction for our students. So integrating MOTE enhances auditory processing skills, personalized feedback, interactive learning, and supports diverse learners. We're going to start with phonemic awareness, the first of the big 5 in reading. Phonemic awareness is the ability to hear, identify, and manipulate phonemes, which are the individual sounds in a word. And phonemes can be composed of more than one letter. With MOTE, I can create learning activities with voice notes of phoneme sounds where students listen and identify the sounds, and other activities where students match sounds with pictures. So for our first activity, I used MOTE to record the directions. Then students listen to the MOTE here, blend the sounds that they hear, drag this red circle over the image that matches the sound, and then they record their own MOTE by blending the sounds together to say the word the picture represents. In this activity, they're going to be blending phonemes again, where students listen to each one of these MOTEs, and then they can click and drag the matching sounds over the picture. Then they're going to record their own MOTE to say the word. So if this MOTE says cat, they will click and drag that brown MOTE over the cat, and then they're going to record their own MOTE to say cat. This is a phoneme segmentation activity where students first listen to the example MOTE, which is right here. It says kite, and then it says k-ite. So it's segmenting each phoneme they hear. Then they listen to the words for each picture and say each sound they hear in the word and record the MOTE. So for example, this one will say bug. The students would then record b-g and place that MOTE right here. Next up is phonics, the relationship between phonemes and graphemes. And these activities, the students will practice letter-sound correspondence. They can create MOTE notes in digital cards and listen to the notes and match sounds to the letters. For the sound letter match activity, students will listen to the MOTE. They say the letter sound they hear and then drag the green check mark to the matching letter. So this MOTE says D. Then they take that green check mark, click and drag it over the D. So they're doing the sound letter match. In the make and say words activity, students will be working on digraphs and blends. Of course, this can also be used with any phonics skill that you're working on. Students first listen to each word part. So this one says ch, ain, or tr, ain, train. And then they will then put those parts together, ch, record their MOTE and say chain and match the picture. In this short vowel game, students will first listen to the word in yellow next to the picture. So this one will say drink. Then they'll drag the vowel that completes the word into the gray word box. Then to check if they got the word or the correct vowel, they're going to listen to the blue MOTE here. And that is all the directions up here. So I love the fact that you can color code the MOTE, the little volume icon, so you can give more specific directions. One of the other things that I discovered when I was recording was that the generate tab. So when I click on the MOTE, it says record, generate, or upload. So I decided I'm going to check this out. It created the text-to-speech MOTE so quickly. Then I also love the fact that it was time saving for me, right? Before I am recording, you can just copy and paste text in there. And then you can select different types of voices when it's generated. So it's not just one voice or a robotic voice. And I listened to the other voices. It has some really nice inflections in there as well. So fluency is the ability to read with automaticity, prosody, and accuracy. Now, there are some really great evidence-based strategies for fluency, which is modeled reading, repeated reading, echo reading, and paired reading. And MOTE is perfect for the students to practice that and for us as teachers to provide that instruction and that support for independent learners. So on some of these following activities, you can see that students can record a cold passage. And if you're familiar with Read Naturally, you're recording a cold passage, you're practicing reading, so that brings in the repeated reading. Then students listen to the recording and practices. So you as a teacher or the generated MOTE can provide that modeled reading for the student. And then you can have the voice note being a little bit slower so that they can hear that and practice the echo reading as well in between that. Students record a final reading to compare with the cold reading. So then after multiple times of practicing the passage, then they can hear their improvement and have corrected forms. So here is their reading practice. You can change the rate by clicking on the three dots and select the playback speed. So that's really nice for students, right? When you click on the volume, so they can listen to it a little bit slower. They're going to read the passage first right here. Then they'll do a cold reading. So I'm sorry, they're not going to read the passage. You record the cold read first. So that's without practicing. Students will read the passage and record it for the cold reading. Place it up here. Then they're going to listen to the teacher reading of the passage, which is right here. And then when they practice a couple of times, then they can do the final reading here and place it. So you as a teacher, when they turn that in, can hear their first and their last, and for students to kind of self-evaluate, which is always good for students to listen to themselves. Here is an activity called Fluency Phrase Frenzy. I love the word frenzy, and I love having those beginning sounds the same too, that alliteration. So I used this, I snipped a little section of an activity from fcrr.org, which has amazing resources, all categorized under the Big Five. But the students will listen to each phrase in the MOTE. So I only recorded the first 3 phrases, but you can record all of these, or just not, just have like 6 phrases instead of all of these. And then students will practice reading each phrase after listening to each recording. Then they're going to record their 3 favorite phrases with MOTE. That was really hard to say. 3 favorite phrases with MOTE. And then they'll record that and place it up here in the top right corner. Another part of literacy skills is vocabulary. So vocabulary, you can record your voice notes for digital notebooks of word walls or vocabulary lists, or students can do that as well. I wanted to show you the deconstructed Freyer model that I built in Wakelet, and that's right here. So that is a live link. You can just click right on that and see this deconstructed Freyer model. So if you're familiar with the Freyer model, it's like a graphic organizer with 4 sections, and within each section there's a specific task. So in my Wakelet, I kind of pulled each section and just in a linear way. And here you can see the first part is definition. So I recorded my mote inside Wakelet, which I love having that app smash, right? And then you can record the mote right inside there, or record your mote on your mote site, and then drop that link right in, and you can hear it. So I recorded the definition. Students can do that as well, right? So you want the students building the deconstructed Freyer model. Then what are the characteristics of a fraction? So then here they can talk about the characteristics of a fraction. And then you're providing examples. So this would be like your third box in your Freyer model. You can add in images here. And then the non-examples of fractions as well. So that was fun to build, and I think students would have a lot of fun with that as well. Now my other example is a vocabulary match. Let me get back there. And here I used a Google quiz form because Mote embeds beautifully inside a Google quiz form. I love how the little Mote icon just floats around right next to it, and then you can record right inside the inside a Google form. So I recorded this vocabulary match. What is a habitat? You can see it's written here. You can play it, listen to it. You can have it translated. I mean, such amazing features in Mote. And then I recorded the word for each picture. I recorded the sentence. They have it in writing. So their students are getting a visual, they're getting auditory, and then they're getting the word in a sentence. So 3 different ways. And I just love how much Mote is supporting these literacy skills. So that's a vocabulary match built in Google Forms. And then the other thing I love is, again, like I said, App Smash, right? So DFID has a lot of vocabulary activities that you can choose from. And because they're in Google Slides and Forms, you can embed motes right inside of these. So then one other things that I didn't show you or talk about, show an example, is this root word and prefix matching. You can get, this is in one of my slides. So if you're like, I don't know what are word parts and root words and all of that, I love this little site because it gives you different word parts and the meanings. And what's fun is students can put together these word parts. I'm going to show you that in my next activity. And make new words, right? Even words that maybe don't make sense. So this is called combine, record, and write. Students are going to listen to the prefixes. So you can make one for each one, make a mote for each one. I just made them for 2. They'll listen to the prefix, combine at least one prefix with a suffix, or one prefix or suffix with a root. And then they're going to write the word over here. And then they're going to record a mote. So I provided them with one example. So I selected transport, and then I wrote the definition to carry through, and then I recorded transport, carry through. So that's what they would do. I provide the motes over here, then they record and write. They combine the suffixes or prefixes with the root word, write the new word here. And I tell my students, it doesn't matter if it's a real word, you can just have fun with it, but I want to know, can you get a definition out of the word parts that you put together? And then they'll record the mote here. For comprehension, that's the last part of the literacy skills, but we also have oracy too, but we're just talking about the big 5 today. So comprehension is that ability to understand and interpret what is read. So it's putting everything together, right? You're learning how to read, you're understanding the vocabulary words, and now you're going to be comprehending what you are reading. So with Mote, you can record questions within the text to guide comprehension. You can insert voice notes with prompts or discussion. Students will listen to those prompts, and then they can record the motes and provide verbal responses with the key points in writing. And then also I put another app smash down here with DFID summarizing activities. There's just a bunch of them. And again, like I said, I love that DFID creates Google Slides and Google Forms where you can then embed Mote right inside of those tasks. So on this one, I have some different tasks and examples on what you can do with the Mote, and you can go ahead and read those for yourself. And my last slide here is a flow map. If you're familiar, and we may, some of you might call them graphic organizers, but this is actually coming from a thinking map, and that's trademarked. So I built this flow map for something that students would use after reading a passage. They would record their Mote note. So this in here, they would record a note about an event that happened in their reading, and they would provide 2 details. So the event number 2 and 2 details. What happened next? What happened next? So this mote you can use for main ideas, events, and details, and then they would place their audio recording inside the accompanying box. And these little circles I just made with the little mote signal, and then just put that in there. It provides that little visual image of, hey, you need to record a mote, students, and make sure you put that right inside the correct spot. So there's so many more activities and things that you can do to provide those literacy skills for the students. And I'm just so excited to be able to share some of those with you today. And here's my contact if you want to get a hold of me and you have questions. I made this presentation for you to make a copy of it so that you can have it and check out some of these activities on your own. And here's a little bit.ly for the presentation itself, a QR code. If you want to scan the QR code, will take you to the presentation. So I just really appreciate the time to be able to spend and share some of these skills with you today.
Man, Patricia, can I just tell you some things that I absolutely love about your slides and your activities? I just think about the literacy listening and speaking aspect that you just provided in all of those. They're getting to listen, they're getting to practice speaking. So that's really cool. I was kind of wondering, are these largely done at what grade levels? Because they seem so age appropriate.
So especially with the phonics and phonemic awareness, those are our early foundational skills, right? So even though those might mainly be for kindergarten through 2nd grade, of course you can use them for higher grade levels. And I, as a reading specialist, because I was a reading specialist, I mean, I am a reading specialist, but I was a reading interventionist for 9 years. I always said, if older students need to learn phonics skills, give them multisyllabic words, give them those, juicy vocabulary words, and those words that they can split apart, and they're basically phonics skills within each one of those multisyllabic words we call nonsense words, right? And then, of course, vocabulary and comprehension. I mean, you're going to use that at any grade level.
Yeah, I love that so much. I think my favorite activity you shared was the reading practice, because we use Mote for fluency all the time, but I hadn't thought to do it in the way where they do a cold read and then they listen to the teacher read and then they go back and do a final. I would love to see like the beginning and then the progress after just hearing somebody else and modeling it. So many great gems, even the little things like putting the Mote where they can check to see if they got it right. It's like, oh, I've never thought to do that, or have them adjust the playback speed. So sometimes it's just those little wins that really are making a big difference for the kids when they're learning these skills. So thank you so much for taking the time to share.
I love it. And I love that Mote keeps upgrading and adding new things in every day. So I it's like a little gem, like a little surprise. Every time I open Mote, I'm like, oh, there's something new here today. So yes, I love that.
Mote is always getting better. And I love how you mentioned even the new feature of generating text. The personal voice is good, but whenever you need to get something quick to be able to just generate, translate, it's also so good. So we hope that everybody else will enjoy the rest of MOTECon. Check out all the sessions because we've got amazing educators sharing the greatness of Mote. And thank you so much, Patricia.
Thank you.